to everyone. Thank you for coming. So today we have here with us Dr. Irum Sabir, Assistant Professor for General Surgery and Head of Surgery Woodward at Khyber Teaching Hospital. Thank you for coming and giving us your time. Thank you. So since we're here to celebrate Women's Health Week today, my first question is, how did you guys think about the one-stop breast clinic at Khyber Teaching Hospital? How did the idea come?
One-stop clinic is basically a standard of care all over the world. Wherever they're running these cancer services, this concept of one-stop clinic is always there. But in our system, we are used to reading textbooks from abroad and keeping that text different from our practice. We don't incorporate them. Everything is answered by ये तो पाकिस्तान है, वहाँ ऐसा होता है लेकिन ये इधर ऐसा होता है. So it was just a matter of bridging the two, because seeing women come to us and then referring them, even just within the hospital, if you tell them to go to this place, that room, another floor, it's very, very frustrating for them. We work in a public sector hospital. Not many of our women are educated. The hospitals, no matter how much they try, they're not very patient-friendly hospitals anyways. US students, when you come, how many times do you bump into people who would ask you, who would show you a slip and ask you where this place is? And if you've been really good that day, you will probably end up telling them half the way. If you're going through a bad crisis and you really need to connect with them, they'll probably escort them to the place. But there's no way you can tell them standing there that go to this place and they will reach that place. So it was just a matter of facilitating those women. A woman who comes with a lump in her breast is already a very scared woman. She is a woman who's ignored it for a very long time because she doesn't want to know that it's cancer. Maybe she's gone to other places, but she's not been treated. So it's a patient who needs our help in every sense of the word. So one stop just is an effort to make it easy for them. When somebody comes to us, we see them there. The scan is right next door, almost next door, the same corridor, and we biopsy them in the same room. So whoever comes should go home diagnosed. This was the idea. So that they can tell other women that why don't you go to the hospital, it's not that bad a place.
Also, my next question stems from your answer. Do you think there's a need for indigenous policy pertaining to our region?
Of course there is. Everybody is different. Every culture is different. When we talk about modernization, when we talk about equipping ourselves, the standard becomes US, UK, not even Far East Asia. We won't even compare ourselves with how things are in China, how things are in Japan. But even if you look at your own practice, your own textbook, do you ever read about Asia, the Far East Asia? That happen to be a bit more closer to us culturally. The gender differences are still there. So we have to make policies that tailor our needs. Dr. Tariq and I, we always sit in MDTs, and they have got these algorithms where treatment plans are already, they're written, they've been done and dusted. They should be followed wherever standard care is being followed. But there are many occasions when we say कि नहीं इसको थोड़ा इस तरह कर लेते हैं, थोड़ा उस तरह कर लेते हैं. And I think ये जो इस तरह उस तरह हम कर होते हैं, probably at some point we are doing it as well. We have to have our own guidelines. We have to have our own policies. In the West, somebody who's 50 is still considered very young. Our part of the world dynamics are completely different. So we have, whatever is being done, we have to tailor it. We should not be relying on the guidelines that are coming from the West. In fact, our etiology is completely different. If you open up your textbook, breast cancer risk factors, have you ever gone through that? Nulliparity, alcohol, late marriages, OCDs, what else is there? Family is 5%, it's quite low. Or, now try just these three causes. Try fitting them onto the contraceptives. Fit them onto our society. We see women with 10 children, pregnant with their 11th, coming with a lump, biopsy breast cancer. If you sit in a breast cancer clinic in UK, you would see women in their 60s coming to you. अगर 50 आ जाती है तो एक को दवाई होती है, oh very young patient. The nurse would keep come and tell you how young the patient is. Or 40 में तो they are almost gone. We see women in their 20s coming. हमारा general 20 का कितना बड़ा crowd है? 18. The youngest we have seen is 13. In every single multidisciplinary meeting, almost every, we have got one patient who's pregnant with the first or second child, a precious pregnancy, and has got breast cancer. So, probably something we'll start doing, but then it's you guys. Even last week I was telling them, you are the consultant stakeholders of the next decade. So, you should have, by you, we should have laid some foundation and you should achieve it.
So what's the survival rate here?
Survival in the right hands is not that bad.
So basically, I would answer it like this way. In the West, they have 80% in stage 1, 2 and 3 and 20% in stage 4. And in our part of the world, it's the West. So we have 87 to 80% in stage 4 and 30% in early stage. And the reason is that the lack of awareness. And they don't want to share their symptoms with their relatives unless it gets so worse. So many students and postgraduates come to me that why did you choose oncology when the prognosis is so poor? So I tell them the prognosis to manipulate when a patient comes to me with a stage 4 disease, all you can do is relieve their symptoms and everything. If so many people start coming, these people will start getting aware and then they will get patient in early stages and everything. So the prognosis, the survival this is how it goes. Because the patient late event survival can be, you can say, poor.
Like if you divide it stage-wise.
Stage-wise.
And in the right hands, like even with the two of them coming, Dr. Tariq coming and joining our team, I think our complete pathological rates have improved. Practices have changed. So in the right hand, we are not any different from the rest.
So we encounter so many patients due to finances to the proper treatment. Often even in stage 4, we have patients in stage 4 जो when I arrive with the first patient, she is alive till date. Otherwise, she is stage 4 breast cancer 3 years old. So the proper treatment is survival can increase, and then we don't want to get patients in stage 4 very quickly. We want them to be personally and really happy. Awareness is very good. But awareness in the hospital level stage, not very few. We assess best they can do
Awareness is twofold. बहुत सारे patients हैं देखो ना late present करते maybe it's something with fast medical. They have, yes, they have reached us late, but they were not sitting at home all this time. They were going to doctors and they were being treated wrongly. So it's something कि हमारा peripheral health system, community में हमारा basic health system हमारा primary से एक level ऊपर होता है. So we have to establish that in order to start making the answers.
Health professionals can interest in oncology and oncology related. Doing the patient activity was like to see what the attitude of house officers and postgraduates are mostly told with that. They feel कि बस ये मरने वाला है, चाहे वो किसी कब के साथ हो. So उसकी तरफ उनका attitude different होता है compared to the one who is presented with the appendicitis. So
This to pain conditions, how do you deal with it as a person and as a professional with it taking place?
I think it's because we've chosen the right specialty for ourselves. You have to be very stubborn, you have to be very perseverant, you have to be very focused. Only then you can sort of hold on to things. We have been sustaining through a lot of wars. Even now, like when we talk about our meetings, they're not meetings about things that we enjoy doing. It's about meeting people for getting things done for patient benefit. So that is why it's very important to choose the specialty. You should be choosing the specialty you are determined to work with. You should be choosing subjects you are determined to work with. हर specialty का अपना होता है. So you have to look at the bigger thing. What are we trying to achieve here? Like I look at myself achieving a center of excellence here at Khyber Teaching Hospital, where patients get all the treatment free of cost, irrespective of the stage they are at, and even if they are at a stage where they are not treated, we should have something to still make them feel better. And those who are treated should go back and return to the community as healthy individuals. They should still contribute.
Also, Dr. Irum, I believe that, Khyber Teaching Hospital, with the sort of influx of patients that it has, I feel like we have a treasured trove of data, if we look at it. So is like breast cancer data registered at Khyber Teaching Hospital?
This is what we're just going to go and talk about. A meeting we're going to have about cancer registry. But in terms of having it recorded, registered is another level, but recording, yes, all the data, all the patients that we are seeing, they are being recorded and registered locally with us in the multidisciplinary meeting, because every single patient that we see, we don't decide. That's the first principle of any disease management, but specifically for cancers. Whoever comes for treatment has to be seen by a group of people.
Yes.
And so every Thursday, like I'm just Dr. Tariq and we're just coming from the meeting, Dr. Ishwan would still be there, where we discuss every patient and all the details are recorded. So we can always, and we are in the process of uploading their data. We have about 3,000 patients, and we've had 149 meetings. So we have uploaded till meeting number 101. So there's a small gap.
Also, like, the purpose of, this data is, data, like, knowledge synthesis and then driving it towards OSIG. So do you believe you can bridge that gap in the next few years?
This is definitely something we are working towards. I often get told off for not having any publications. The reason being, we always talk of publication of a standard that makes a difference. The reason I could not write anything was I did not want to tick box my requirements for promotion. We have got so much to deal with, and I hope by doing so much we will achieve a data where if by the end of this year, if we bring up a data which is about over 3,000 patients, and anywhere in the world it's going to be recognized as a data of high significance, and this is going to make the change. And that will put us at a level where we can then ask for all the help, all the guidance that we need.
So what key messages do you aim to convey to the public and the policymakers with the kind of work that you've done and the kind of advocacy efforts that you've made overall these years?
I think it's not about achieving fancy things. Problems have to be recognized and addressed at the basic level. Like we just spoke about patients coming late. We need to look into the fact how many of them did actually come late. How many got delayed because of others. If they got delayed, what are the reasons that we can address? Rather than thinking of launching a fancy screening program, if we make it a bit like delayed by a few years, and those few years we spend on recognizing why could they not screen themselves, maybe this would help us making a screening program which helps them more. Don't do things for the face value. Don't tick boxes to complete the requirements. Do things to make a difference.
Just to add, I'm just connecting some data. Since patient presented to a healthcare professional first time when he and she experienced symptoms, still records diagnosis. So around the essay time चल रहा है कि on the average 90 to 100 days चल रहे हैं. 3.5 months on the average per patient. So ऐसे patient हैं जो going to doctors for issues for last 2, 3, 4 years और कोई investigating CBC or LFP लेकिन radar test expired है, radar test expired है. कोई भी further investigation है. The thing is कि I feel कि कोई भी symptom is persist for 14 to we need to upgrade our lab investigations. But the full harmony effort in doing the CT scan or endoscopy or colonoscopy or MRI brain syndrome, why not do that investigation or rule out that rather than CBC being concentrated? Neurological malignancy will present earlier to the hospital DR, लेकिन सारे डाल में आपको हमेशा लास्ट करेंगे, especially gastric or colonic or rectal. As patients for years present by TBPH or rectal nerve. So late presentation is huge, especially in women.
ये जो एक बहुत बड़ा रीज़न है हमारे डॉक्टर्स का मन से we don't have this sense of service, we don't have that sense of responsibility. हमें डर नहीं लगता कि हमसे कुछ मिस ना हो जाए, हमसे कुछ गलत ना हो जाए.
Yesterday I saw a patient 12 years child who had diarrhea all his life. सही और सारे उसको टीवी दे रहे हैं, किसी ने ये नहीं सोचा कि उसको सीरियस डिजीज, सिर्फ 2 टेस्टों पे सीरियस डिजीज आ गया. ट्रांसपोर्टामाइलेज और एंडोस्कोपी और सीरियस डिजीज की डायग्नोसिस 12 years, we took them 12 years to diagnose.
So I think it's the GP's fault.
In a good GP.
Sorry?
A good GP.
We have basically we talk of basic health units, right? We talk of people being transferred. We don't have. It's not considered as a dignified place. Why is it not a dignified place? By the way, before I introduce Zarfa and Fajal, the 2 girls, they are my biggest achievement over these 5 years. They are my first fellows who are being now trained in breast surgery.
Thank you so much, sir.
Our hospital is the 5th center in Pakistan and first in the region to start training fellows for breast cancer. Yes, so it's an honor to see them being trained. It's an honor to see that the good work, because it's a sense of insecurity somehow in our seniors that we had seen, or in the doctors, that whatever we see, our service, it's very sort of private practice based. What I do, I should not have competitors with me. You spoke about message as well. What we don't realize is that there are a lot of patients out there. Our aim should be serving them. The more people you train, the more people who know their job well, it's going to be a better place. It's not going to affect or damage you in any way. It's going to make your job easier. If somebody shares the load with you, maybe our doctors can then have the time to discover new things. Why can the cancer treatment not be discovered here in Pakistan? Why have we not been able to know why breast cancer happens in our women who are married at a very reasonably young age, have lots of children, don't use OCPs at all, have all the factors that the West doesn't have to protect them, and yet they have it. So I think if we have scores of people looking after the patients, then we have another score of people who would then do research.
I did a research on colon cancer. I actually, my gap positive population gap, I used our local population. And it was an attempt without any registry and without referring to the hospital. I actually found different factors. But when I presented it in front of our teachers, they actually have given it, why we use the same thing, we invite the same thing. They were actually not appreciating that we have done work on our population.
So that is where we go wrong. We have set West as the standard, and we compete with them. We don't have to compete with them. We have to be us. We have to be on our own. We have to do things our way. और मैं ये भी कहती, we never look at Far East. हम कभी नहीं देखते कि China, Japan, Singapore वहाँ पे कैसे है. Because culturally, if you look at them, I went to. It's just a personal experience that I will share. I went to Singapore for treatment of my eyes. So when I went there, the moment you enter the hospital, they ask you where do you have to go, and you tell them. So one of the orderlies standing there would take you to the lift and press the button of the lift. I said, okay, I'll manage. He said, no, my job. He was supposed to press the button so that the lift exactly opens where I have to get off. Irrespective of I know it or not, he would do his job. When the lift opened, another person was standing there. And if you look at it, we've got a lot of staff. 2 people standing on every turn, talking to each other, discussing problems. Not worried about where the patient is, what the patient is. वो उस चीज़ को रजिस्टर करते हैं. फिर उसके बाद when I was getting my injections done, the nurse was just holding my hand and rubbing it and telling me it's going to be fine, it's going. Now this is something जो हमारे साइड में होता है. Probably उधर अगर इंग्लैंड या अमेरिकन को आपको excessively touch करो, you would get offended. And then you would like, oh, you want to massage your head, you want to do this. So we have to look at the things that suit us. We have to entertain our own needs. Our well-dressed, generally, if you talk about well-dressed, so all the things from the West would start sticking on to you. And you'll be a well-dressed person. You'll be like a popular person because you've got all those West bits on you. This is the wrong way. We are completely different setup.
Also, adding on to what she mentioned, I feel like the importance of epidemiological studies is immense.
Yes.
But I feel like the thing that we lack as students is our data is very little. It's confined to one center. So, like, do you think huge amounts of data from different centers, collated together, that will make a better difference?
I think
Especially if it's done consciously.
the first problem is our intent. Why are we doing this study? If you have that intention which is correct, if you have the right intention, even with a small thing, you make a difference. I deal with a lot of students amongst you who come to data for me, and they would say, "हम research कर रहे हैं, okay, very good. When will you start coming?" नहीं, बस data चाहिए. Okay, so you don't want to collect data. No, the data that you have, you want that. Okay, I'll give you the data. It was last October, पूरा month of October होता है, we run it as best awareness month. So we gather data. So the student, I said, okay, you sit in this room. This is the register where we enter all the data. You sit here and you enter it fully. And after a short while, the orderly standing outside came running to me that they are quickly flipping through the pages and they are taking pictures. I said, okay, maybe they want to make it easy for themselves. The next day, they didn't come. The day after, they didn't come. Third day, I had to call for them. They came and I said, you were meant to be here and you were interested in research. Oh no, thank you very much, our job is done. How is your job done? We just were there for one day. I knew where was the job done. We have photographed the record and it's enough. बस हमारा तो 100 का target था 200 हो गया. I think that is enough for us to get an article published. This really, and it's not something that has happened once, it keeps happening again and again and again. Just last month we had somebody taken steps, all ready to go for a research job, wanted some quick research. Okay, I'll help you and give you my data. I've got 3,000 cases, I've entered 1,000 so far. If you help me with adding more, no, those 1,000 are enough for me, just give it to me. So you're not interested in achieving anything out of the effort someone else has done. And then you talk about कि पाकिस्तान से क्यों जा रहे हो? पाकिस्तान में रहने की जगह तो नहीं है. इधर तो कोई किसी को उसका हक नहीं देता है, इधर तो लोग हम सब अनफेयर होते हैं, इधर हर कोई सेल्फिश है, सीनियर जूनियर को आगे नहीं बढ़. तो what are you doing there? And so the research, we don't need everybody to do research. We need a group of researchers who really want to do research in true letter and spirit. Who want to do it to make the difference. And Irum is sitting there. I already requested him. We would want a group of students, ethical students, who can honestly sit down and help us with the data. And we promise. We're not promising an article with the first authorship or the second authorship, but your name would somewhere be there in the authorship because the articles that come with 3 authors, 4 authors, I don't fancy them anyways.
I agree.
It needs to be a group of people to achieve something. So you did a very good job by writing the article. The people who said that you should not be reinventing the wheel, they're the people who have written articles for their promotion. That is the ultimate goal, or getting a job. This is not what motive of research. And it happens when you impose it on everyone. If you keep it limited to those who exclusively like it, the quality would improve. Just to be generalized, the standard deteriorates.
Such. So, like you also mentioned that data is entered accurately for breast cancer. It's not registered.
It's recorded but not
Yeah,
registered.
recorded. What's the difference? Registered is like with the registry.
Yes, registered, there are set standards set by the United Nations, World Health Organization, and the different societies, the health care societies. So registry cannot be, I cannot be the registry. Like, I talk about Shaukat Khanum, they talk about their cancer registry, which is very misleading. And that is the downside of having a local registry. Shaukat Khanum had got very stringent, those of you who are aware about it, they would not accept any breast cancers beyond stage 2. And now they are registering data and they are presenting it internationally. What message does it convey?
Prognosis is weak.
Last year, at President House, where there was this event about breast cancer, and Mrs. President, first thing she said, मुझे बहुत खुशी हुई है कि मुझे शौकत खानम से भी खबर मिली है कि पहले हमारे 40% पेशेंट 20% पेशेंट स्टेज 1 में आते थे, अब हमारे 40% पेशेंट स्टेज 1 में आना शुरू हो गए और जो बाकी 60% वो स्टेज 2 में आते हैं. Now, this is because of calling a wrong thing a registry. Yes, it's a hospital-based data, but it has with KTH, we might still be, it would still not be a registry, but we might be closer to a registry because we don't have any cut-off, we don't have any red tapes. Our doors are open to everyone. Everybody will come, even if they are curable, not curable. At least they get onto our radar. We know that they exist there. We have planned a software with Liaquat National, which is again a very, very big center for breast cancer, like KTH hai, and it's a very small, it's a 10-liner, 10-item questionnaire. That is how a registry should be. Quick, 1, 2, 3, 4 done. 1, 2, 3, 4 done. You cannot have long performance for registry. Because if you started having long performance, then your data is going to be the data handler based data. Maybe they're not in the mood, maybe they're not efficient enough, maybe they're bored. फिर उसकी क्वालिटी में फर्क हो जाता है. रजिस्ट्री बहुत ब्रीफ होती है. जो हम डेटा करते हैं वो उनकी हिस्ट्री से लेके उनके एक इशू को
So for registries, like, do you think it's a nice idea to have like a local population-based registry where public hospitals or hospitals from all over the UK they register their data?
Not just maybe Pakistan, because even Pakistan, हम लोग ethnically we are very different. हमारा we got a lot of Afghan influence because of the environmental factors, because of the cultural factors. Genetically, this rural population might be very different from what exists in Punjab and Baloch is different. Therefore, it's important to have all those people.
What are the challenges that are precluding us from having a registry, at least at
Our ability to work together as a team, our insecurities. And I think it's something which has been inculcated to us as children. सबने टॉप करना होता है. If you don't do well, your parents will not tell us that probably you were not given the subject that you are good at. You have not come across the speciality that you could have been good at. Everybody is given a target and everybody has to go get it. So even when we sit in a meeting, I would learn about the surgeries I do. And the other person would try to prove that they are better than me. So we are more competitive than, we don't work synergistically. We probably don't excel.
So what keeps you motivated amidst all of
Them.
this?
It's when you see achievements, when you see seeing a patient smile at you, seeing a patient grateful to you, seeing a patient bring a handful of nuts for you. A patient telling you that had it not been you, we would not have come this far. This is what makes it. So this is what keeps me motivated.
So it has been good.
Oh, it's been more than this. I've achieved more than I thought I would ever achieve.
Also, like, what advice would you give them? Especially those who are trying to carve out a new themselves in the field of surgery.
we have to, this habit of reflection and knowing ourselves. As I said, we are all given one target and we are all told to achieve that. We are all very different people. Some people enjoy talking to others, some people don't. Some people are good with numbers. Some people are good with poetry. Discover yourself. Before you embark into making choices, know what you like doing. And once you are certain about what you like doing, start doing those things. And then you see how rewarding it all is. I'm not somebody good with numbers, I'm not somebody good with documentations. So I'm failing on that front. But then I'm somebody who really enjoys talking to the patients. So yes, because of documentation, like my career progression, it gets affected in many ways, but it doesn't frustrate, it never frustrates me, because I see patients who are so happy. Just seeing the one-stop clinic, just going through those old pictures, I was showing them the old pictures, and showing them those old pictures was like going back in the time, and I was as happy as I was probably on that day. So, know yourself. Don't go into the wrong field. If you go into the wrong field, you will be the biggest pain for yourself. You may not surgery will go. You should go home fresh. You might be tired, but you should not be frustrated. There are days when your legs ache because you've operated for a very long time, but your mind is fresh. So don't let your mind tarnish. Your mind will tarnish if you choose. If you make choices for money, for instance. Some people tell you this is quick money, this is easy money. For women, they would say this is no emergency job. Even a radiologist can be a ठीक-ठाक study of a radiologist if she doesn't enjoy doing what she's doing, even though she's doing a 9-to-5 job. And even a gynecologist can be a pleasant person to be with. Why is gynae thought of as a bit of a toxic specialty? Because by default of our gender, we are expected to go into it. We don't want to go, but we go. And so we end up being in a bunch of frustrated women. And it frustrates us in the surgeons, why do you see malpractice in surgery? Because you see a group of people coming in because that's a lot of money. So when they come for a lot of money, that is all they would do, mint money. They would not think about improving the specialty, doing something. फिर वही बात है, ये क्यों कौन डायग्नोस करेगा और नई मेडिसिन कौन डायग्नोस करेगा और नए प्रोसीजर्स कौन डिस्कस करेगा? जब तैयार तरीकों को पैसे मिल रहे हैं, you want to focus on that.
It's all about the intention.
Yes, and if you want, money would follow, everything would follow. Just be happy with where you are.
So let's talk about food.
Great, it's okay, you don't have to talk about it.
No, let's talk about it. It's a very important topic, especially for us.
Brain, I would personally say you have to travel in order to learn. I would not say CPS करके बैठ जाओ, or it's a very limited. You limit yourself. You limit yourself in a test tube, seeing the world around you from that glass in a narrow column. Come out of your comfort zones. Travel. Go wherever you have to go. And even when we talk about electives, why don't you do electives in a basic health unit in Chitral? Why don't you go for electives somewhere far from? And see what the problems are over there. If you've not been trained while being familiar to those problems, how would you ever solve it? One of you can just come out today and start doing a study where you just go amongst the trainees and ask them, how many have you seen, have ever been familiar with the periphery hospitals? बहुत आसान है, मैं पैदल भी KTH में होती, ट्रेनिंग भी KTH में हो गई, कंसल्टेंट भी KTH में हो गई, and all my patients are coming from periphery and I'm sending them back to periphery. Where am I sending them? Do I know? I don't even know कितने resources waste हो रहे हैं because they are not being utilized. Why do I operate on a patient who's come for appendix here? Why can't somebody, जब कोई हमारे अगर से से एक पेशेंट appendectomy किया है और Akoda se aaya. How many hospitals do they cross on the way? With qualified surgeons sitting there. Could they not do this surgery? If all that load is taken off from KTH, would we not get time for doing good quality research, teaching you better, giving you more time, preparing? So the priorities are important. So break rate is very important problem that's getting worse with time. And it's not going abroad. It's not coming back once you train. हमारे भी लोग क्या कंप्लेन करते हैं कि हम we are too qualified. How can we survive here? यहाँ की local practice हमें survive नहीं कर रही. There are people who come and go if you are familiar with them. There are people who come back within 2, 3, 4 years. They have to go back. So पहले तो एक stubborn हो जाए. Don't let things annoy you and set your goals right. अपना गोल 3 साल में AP से एसोसिएट प्रमोट होना मत रखो. आते साथ ही सारे गैजेट मिलना मत रखो. अपना गोल रखो improving the healthcare standards and see how long you can survive. When I came back, I was getting offers from places which would have been easy to work. First, I was automatically, the moment I spoke about coming back, I was given better packages there. I was offered better job descriptions there. But I wanted to come back because I knew working there, you just work there as a part of a machine. You get faulty and you're replaced. But coming here, you make a difference. So make your aims bigger. मुझे achieve करना था कि मैं one stop नहीं बनाऊँ. I wanted this center of excellence. So maybe it takes me 10 years, maybe I never do it. Maybe it's them who do it. But even if they do it, at least there would be my share of things in it. They would probably, if they're good enough to them, they would say that there was this woman who started this and we have sort of brought it to the conclusion. And forward your dreams. See your dreams through other people. I dream through you. I might not be able to get everything, but you might achieve what I'm dreaming of. But then I have to lay the foundation. So, jao America, jao UK, jao China, wherever. Go, but come back. Come back in some way. Don't come back for a fancy conference, all suited, branded up, prim and proper, looking at us as a third world country and telling them we at Sloan Kettering are doing this, and we at Oxford are doing this, and we at Berkeley are doing this. Come back and be a part of, and you are a part of this. Again, don't do the fancy stuff. Do the real stuff.
Thank you so much.
You feel like trying a party?
I think you know better about this, the rise of genetic and genomic profiling in the oncology community right now. So, is precision and personalized medicine an approach that you guys integrate or plan to integrate, considering that the next is going to guide us in the rest of it?
See, what is integration? Integration is picking up something and putting it on your currently existing. That is always a patch. It's always a mystery. Why don't we develop it? As I said, why don't, if I ask you who wants to do what, hardly कोई एक होगा जो कहेगा मैं कैंसर को क्योर कर सकता हूँ. My desire is to find a cure for cancer. नहीं, you might at your best would think of becoming a breast cancer surgeon or a colorectal surgeon. We will not of this country. So it's that mindset. Why can't we start working in our labs, in this biochemistry lab? Working towards things which would eventually, without us knowing, one day we would have a precision center. So it's developing them from the start. Then things will work. And definitely, we are the last generation of, we probably are the second last, they are the last generations. Even the surgeons would then be operating through gadgets, would be operating through robots. The immunotherapies, they've completely changed the concept of treatment. Yesterday we were operating on cancer. And while operating when you were cutting the cancer, Faryal said it feels normal. I said yes, because this new treatment is now something which heals cancer as if it was never there. So again, it comes to the point कि हमारी research, you don't ask, you don't have any whys, you don't have any hows. You don't even think.
Why would they how to something like that? If medical school में first time में आके when we asked professor why, the rector said that yes, good idea, we should do anything. But the thing is कि which is why, how, when ये सारी चीजें suppress हो जाती हैं. ठीक है?
Because मैंने पिछले में कहा ना कि हर चीज़ हर एक का काम नहीं होता. There will be a very limited group of people who would facilitate you research and excuse for it. हर कोई नहीं करेगा. You have to find those people. You have to go into places. You have to see for yourself. जैसे precision lab professor, he's somebody who is doing it in true letter and spirit. We have not reached the level of research, लेकिन हम data collecting कर रहे हैं. Join us for that. कभी भी कोई भी, even इस्लाम के कुरान में भी है ना कि एक ग्रुप ऑफ लोग होगा जिसका जिम्मेदारी होगी अकाउंट में करेक्ट करना. ये नहीं करते हर किसी को हर बार करेक्ट करे. So always responsibilities they're limited. Find those people. And it will never be easy.
I feel one thing that in first year and second year we are about the normal things, and then in third year we start pathology, and then in this third year we have forgotten all those normals. So don't you think that we should be taught normal and the abnormal in the
So
same?
how is the modular curriculum like now?
It is like
It is
but it is very different. Like you
मैं
have
मैं अपना experience है. We come and teach you. When I come, I teach you surgery. लेकिन पहले तो there are hardly any students there. Those who are there, they're not interested. What are you? How exam based किया हुआ है?
yes.
हमने सिर्फ वो पढ़ना है जो एग्जाम में आया. कितने लोग टेक्स्ट बुक पढ़ते हैं? You have come down to those bullets. Even your brain has stopped functioning as a tale. एक story होती है ना? जैसे the books that you read, if you ever read. There's a beginning, there's a climax, then there's an end, and then it all goes in your mind. तुम लोग क्या पढ़ते हो? Heading bullet. So that is how tuck your brain works then. And that sort of quietens your questions.
And then one more thing. When we have 4 surgery wards and each of it is having 6 days. Like it on total it is like 24 days in the surgery ward, like we are talking about particularly surgery. Then from the third year experience, when we went to the ward, it was like not much fruitful for us. But when we compare those 24 days with 15 days workshop of 6, so it was really fruitful. So then why are we not working on our clinical rotations for which we are like designing the time?
Why do you think SIG was more fruitful and
But it was because we had greater chance of hands-on experience over there.
see again, it's not about surgical skills.
Okay.
It's about knowledge, right? And see, you were in charge. You felt responsible for executing it.
Yes.
Ward में I get 30 students. The students would come, क्या पढ़ा? एक तो random 2 आ गए, फिर 4 आ गए, फिर नहीं आ गए. क्या पढ़ा? कल क्या पढ़ा था? जो पढ़ा है तो आज नहीं पढ़ा. So this way, come there to know things. Come there. Irum was there, third year back. They had a very good class. I know him because he came as a third year student. That is when I knew him. So if we see somebody enthusiastic, we involve them. But when we see somebody not interested, because as I said, हम तो और भी बहुत कुछ शेयर कर रहे हैं. हमने तो patient भी देखा, सब कुछ देखा. So we would only involve those who take the initiative.
Yes.
I have one last question. Sorry, this is a last thing for you. You mentioned that you might screen and practices in which make mistake if you have very late resolution. मतलब जो बहुत late resolution है, बहुत late जब prognosis का काफी अच्छा चांस है. Now that in the medical community or from previous researches and this what I believe, like जो ortho symptoms are they really ignored by the medical. We're always told this all in our head. या बड़ा इग्नोर किया जाता है targeting that in the medical community, in the training of the doctors and teachers. कि औरतों के सिम्टम्स को सीरियसली लिया जाए ताकि उनको ये नॉलेज ना पड़े कि यार हम जाएंगे तो हमें ग्रो तो हम ये बता के
Basically, as a nation, we are not helping the nation. Irrespective of gender. हमारी ना हेल्दी प्रैक्टिसेस हैं, ना हेल्दी अवेयरनेस when it comes to. मैं वही कहती हूँ ब्रेस्ट क्लीनिंग कैसे कोई गिला नहीं कर सकते कि आदमी को ब्रेस्ट क्लीनिंग प्रोग्राम नहीं चल रहा. अगर वो चल रहा है तो नहीं झगड़ा कर लो. But we are not into primary preventive medicine anyways. लेकिन yes, it is something which has to be incorporated. As I said, जो हमारी guidelines जो सब कुछ है ना, we have to tailor it to our culture. What is applicable in West would not be applicable here. लेकिन having said that, we just have to make it convenient for them. We have to make hospitals women-friendly place. And automatically, again, unless we know the cause, we have to know the cause. नौकरी के कितने को neglect किया होगा, लेकिन hospital में कितने patients, how many times have you gone with a patient and you would say, I would never come again? कभी उबड़ी का patient दिखाने नहीं गए, or have you gone yourself? It's not a good place to go. So we have to make it a hospital-friendly place. If somebody is observing for doctor, why not? Why are we so indifferent to medicine में ये चीज़ नहीं होती और हम ये नहीं मानते हैं? Why can't we give them the dignity that they want? Again, I went to England for treatment. मैं Peshawar में treatment दे रही थी and I was examined and it's the same as I say OSIG. तो I was examined, neurological examination में हो रहा था तो knee jerk, ankle jerk, सब कुछ करके the person, now it's somebody from Khan, went back and sat on his desk while I was sitting on the couch. इतनी थी मेरी sleeves खोल हुई थी, इतनी थी मेरा trouser खोल हुआ था. अब मैं बैठी हूँ कि am I done? Can I put it back? Like वो करके खत्म हो गया. Then 2 months down the line, I went to UK for consultation with the same problem. And the moment he said I'll examine you, I said okay. I was about to go and I said no. I know where you're coming from. I do know. You don't need to go to and he checked my reflexes right on top of my trouser on my shirt. And then he said, are you okay? Are you covered? Do you want to leave so that you fix it yourself? I said, no, there's nothing to fix. I'm fine. So, उस तरह से वो करना है. Generally, हमारे clinical ethics, manners, research, we are not mindful about it. So it's development as a personality. It is not just the books. This doctor is a complete persona. The way you dress up. कल मेरे पास पीडी का पेशेंट है जिसका बहुत सारा इतना नहीं आता. And the first thing he said, मुझे तो डॉक्टर ठीक नहीं लग रहा था, उसको तो बटन बस आधा चेस्ट उसके बटन खुले हुए थे. लेकिन बस उस वक्त मैं चली गई थी और उसी दिन सर्जरी करानी थी तो मैंने कहा कोई करा ली. तो she doesn't know how to skill. लेकिन उसके चेस्ट के बटन खुले हुए थे. तो this is an FCPS qualified surgeon FCPS. तो ये जो हमारी सॉफ्ट स्किल्स होती है ना, अभी जो हमारी ये साइड होती है, it's very important. हम लोग पर्सनैलिटी ग्रूमिंग नहीं करते. I ended up in breast cancer surgery because I was the only female in general surgery department, and I would always get patients with breast problems, and it was very intimidating and very sort of scary for me that when they would tell the professor, no, we don't want to be seen by you, we go to her. So, and I thought if they are putting such a big responsibility on me, I better train myself. So, and this is the same thing which happened even in the UK. Sometimes women would tell my consultant, sorry Mr. Gomez, can we see my registrar? I prefer being seen by her. So it's something that we should respect. And again, don't compete with men that we are equal, we are better. You've got a lot to do on your own. If Allah made men, Allah would have made one clone of similar people and made another system for population and everything. But if Allah had made 2 different groups, they must be reason. Complement each other, help each other. Fill up the gaps they need and they should fill up the gaps you need.
We're kind of short on time. It's
okay, I'll ask. I'll take this question.
The surgeon and doctor in government hospital
I really wanted somebody who, if I'm stuck with a step, to hold my hand and tell me this is how it's done. So I made a promise to myself that when I teach, I'll make sure I tell my trainees this is how it's done. I'll assist them. And this is how we make the work better. You can't change them. Change yourself. Let's make a promise that all of us sitting in this room will be those well-mannered doctors. And then you see how do the others not change themselves, because even like, okay, we might say, okay, मरीज देख ले कि you are well-mannered, they start coming to you. वो इसी वजह से change हो जाएंगे कि मुझसे तो मरीज जा रहा है. So we eventually achieve a better change.
ये मेरी बात कि जब मैं ट्रेनिंग करी मुझे भी ये था कि इस तरह सिखाया कि ये लेयर है, इस पर ये लेयर आती है, किसी ने इस तरह नहीं सिखाया. तो जब आप अभी सिखाते हैं कि ये इस तरह ये लेयर यहाँ पे आ रही है, ये इस तरह आ रही है, तो फिर हमें अच्छा लगता है, हमें अब समझ आ रही होती है कि यार ये इधर आ गया. ये चीज़
हाँ, मैं बता भी
अभी
बोलूँ,
तक किसी ने सिखाया
ये अपना ठीक उसने करा. Yes, like trainees if you was tense with the program, you start tight करके या इस तरह करना तो कुछ relax हो जाए, आपके shoulders को भी relax हो जाए. Look after yourself about it. So you have to bring your change yourself.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to ask, like, having 20% where initially you are career like every person in the initial year of career is many challenges.
Yes.
So what were some challenges that you have to face and how did you
What I had to face. I'll be honest, I was lucky in a way that I always had a very good supervisor. So that was one relief. But in terms of challenges, I was never given a job. I used to, once I didn't have CPS, I used to apply for a job and I would be told, oh, we are really happy with your interview, we really want to take you. But sorry, we can't have a female registrar because we want somebody very hands-on who would come and control the emergency and all. So, they would be so okay, they would even tell me. So I did not get a job for good 3 years because they would always want me. So this is what, then surgery-wise, you don't want to be competing with men when they become rough. You don't do this surgery, you don't do that surgery. Then patients. At times, like the hernias, the groins and stuff, you would, again I said like that if men and women are there, that would, you should be looking after different things. So we would be like I often see trainees as well. At times, you will not get any of those surgeries. You still have to learn them, but you see colleagues won't let you do those surgeries, that you won't be requiring these. Here in Khyber Teaching, as a district specialist, I realized that there would be men who would come for problems that you don't want to see them for. They would come with hemorrhoids, they would come with groin hernias, and they would insist that they trust you and they would want to be seen by you. So this gender harassment thing is always there. And then you would realize that it's good that you were protected from this. So you would get these gender-related problems, but you have to come out with it. Jobs नहीं मिलती आसानी से, लेकिन फिर do what you do.